Hello guys, today we are going to talk about NotebookLM and how to use it. Please subscribe my channel and follow up to end of this video. Well, whenever you enter to notebooklm.google.com, you will face such a user interface. Welcome to NotebookLM. I had created an account which is really easy to do it just by having a Google or Gmail account, and you will log in into the NotebookLM. If you had any problem in this part, please comment me. I will answer your questions. Well, after you enter to NotebookLM and your Google account, you will face this text and user interface. Welcome to NotebookLM, my NotebookLMs, which are available from previous notes that I have taken, and I can choose how they can be appear under this section. They can be shown by icons or list, and also I can sort them by most recent, titled, or shared with me. So let's start to creating a notebook. You have to choose create new, and you will face this UI. Well, from here you have to add different sources. Okay, here you can choose Google Drive files, from Google Docs, from Google Slides. Even it means that you can add PowerPoint files. You can add some links from websites and YouTubes. It is really interesting. You can add YouTube videos by just copy and pasting the URL, and the NotebookLM can understand the whole content of that video and provide you a good, comprehensive understanding of that in two types, text or podcast, or copied text. I can even copy a text and paste here. As you can see, here we have a source limit up to 50 files. Today I'm going to search and research about electro spray, and for this purpose I provide 9 or 10 papers or articles from different authors, and I want to provide them for NotebookLM you can see how capable it is and learn how to use it. Well, here I have to choose file. Whenever I choose files, you can see that I can browse into my computer and I can choose the files I want. Here, these are the PDF files of articles I have downloaded before. You can see them here. For example, it is effects of geometry in the operation of coaxial electrosprays. It is published in Journal of Aerosol Science, and its length is about 9 pages, and others. I will choose all of them and upload them here. And also I found 2 videos in YouTube which are about electrospray. One of them is how electrospray ionization works. It is a 6 minutes video. Even you can choose longer videos as a resource. Here I will copy, and here I use add source. I choose YouTube link and paste it here. Whenever I choose insert, you can see that here it is interpreting and going through the source I've provided before for it. I will let him go through it, and I will add another YouTube link. Here I will choose add source, YouTube link, paste, and insert. So here you can see that all of my PDFs are uploaded and all of my PDFs are understood by NotebookLM. It is really fast. Even by my low internet connection speed, they processed very fast. I provide 2 YouTube links, and even I can provide text or PowerPoints, or even books with thousands pages length. So, as you can see here, it provided a very brief understanding of the source: electrokinetic modeling of cone jet electrosprays. From 11 sources I have provided, the provided texts explore various aspects of electrohydrodynamic, or EHD, focusing on electrospraying techniques. Several papers investigate the theoretical modeling and numerical simulation of electrospray, and blah, blah, blah. So here, I can choose briefing my documents, audio overview. It can provide audio overview or add notes, or even I can save these notes. So here I save these notes, and here I can delete them. So we understood how to create a note and save it in the NotebookLM. And now the most interesting part of this, it is not even providing simultaneous 50 sources, even from YouTube. It is about generating really interesting podcasts. Whenever I choose here, generate, it can generate the podcast, or even I can customize it. Here I can use what should the AI hosts focus on. Things to try, focus on a specific source, covered, blah, 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 focus on a specific, and so on. So here I don't change anything and I use the default mode. I choose generate. It takes a few minutes to generate the podcast. You will see the result. I will put it in the video. During this process, I want to show you some more interesting things too. Here, whenever I choose briefing documents, it's going to generate a new note here. In the down right side of the screen, you can see it is generating another note. So here, whenever I choose it, you can see electrohydrodynamic of fluid jets and droplets. Okay, here's a detailed briefing documents, blah, 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 briefing documents, electrohydrodynamic of. Here it goes through the most important parts of the sources, like theoretical frameworks and modeling, numerical methods, experimental observations and results, key parameters and their influence, applications and implications, research gaps and future directions, and conclusion. It is really interesting. It can be used for your research. Whenever you want to understand a field, you can provide a list of articles with PDFs or even YouTube videos, and then put them together in a single NotebookLM file and ask NotebookLM to provide you a brief of those resources and documents. It provides all the things you need to understand from these resources. And you can do another thing, that you choose audio overview. Here it is going to provide you an audio overview as I've chose before by clicking the generate button. During this process of producing or generating a comprehensive podcast, you can ask about different stuffs in the resources you provide for NotebookLM. Here I ask NotebookLM about these resources, how electro spray works. Please explain it simply. Okay? It took a second to generate my answer. Here it is. Electrospray ionization, or ESI, is a technique that turns a liquid sample into charged ions, which can then be used in various chromatography techniques. Here, you can see a number written 1. What is it? This is the first resource. Whenever you click it, you can find the source used for answering the question. It is really interesting. It is really scientific and it can help you a lot. Here, another number you can see, 1 and 3 points. It is the second source. Source guide, here you can see droplet formation. A high voltage is applied to a liquid as it exists capillary, forcing the liquid into tiny charged droplets. So here it's written that it used the first and second source. It is like the citations that we use in scientific papers. Here you can see that the long procedure of understanding several resources changed to just some clicks in NotebookLM. Let's listen to the podcast it provided from all of these resources.
All right, let's dive in. This is really cool. You sent over research papers and even a YouTube video all about electrospray and microfluidics.
Yeah.
I'm excited to shrink down to the microscopic level today with you.
What's so captivating about this area is we're manipulating matter at the tiniest scales imaginable.
Yeah.
It's like a hidden world where we can shape and control the building blocks of our universe.
Exactly. So we'll explore how electrospray works, turning liquids into these sprays of charged droplets.
Yeah.
Then we'll zoom in on some amazing applications like analyzing proteins and even delivering drugs with incredible precision. And just wait until we get to the part about electrifying tiny, stretchy liquid threads.
Yeah.
The research is mind-blowing.
That's a great example of how cutting-edge research in this field is constantly challenging our assumptions about how materials behave at the nanoscale.
Okay, so first things first. What exactly is electrospray ionization and how does it work?
So imagine holding a water balloon and giving it a static charge.
Oh.
The surface tension would start to fight against the electrical forces trying to push it apart.
Mm-hmm.
Electrospray ionization is similar. We apply a high voltage to a liquid, forcing it to break apart into a mist of...
So as you can see, it provided a real natural, humanized podcast, which is about conversation of two peoples. It is really interesting and it is totally right in scientific manner. Whenever you don't have any idea from a subject or field, you can just search through the Google and find suitable resources and just provide them for NotebookLM and let it to analyze all the resources and generate you a real comprehensive podcast. And you just need to listen to the podcast. You don't need to go through all the resources. It will provide you enough information. Even you can customize it. As I've showed before, here in the right side bottom, there was generate and the left bottom was customize. You can choose the customize button and ask NotebookLM to specifically go through a real specific field or a specific subject in the resources you provide, and it will go through them and provide you a real good understanding of those files and those resources. It is really interesting. Here you can see that you can change the playback speed of the podcast. You can download it. I choose to download it too, which I will provide a link in the description for this file that you can listen to the file. You can enjoy it. You can tell me the experience about how does it feel listening to AI podcast. It is totally generated by AI. Also, I can delete it, or even I can choose interactive mode. Okay, I can choose interactive mode. Here, whenever I choose this, it wants me to allow my microphone be used for this application. and here. So I play the audio.
All right, let's dive in. This is really cool. Research papers and even a YouTube video all about electrospray and microfluidics.
Yeah.
I'm excited to shrink down to the microscopic level today.
I'll let
What's so captivating about this
the
area is
podcast
manipulating
go
matter
ahead,
at tiny
and
scales
then I
matter.
request to
It's
join
like
the
a hidden
podcast,
world where we
and you can see how they naturally can respond to my criticizes, my questions, I don't know, my opinions, and all in all, they will naturally answer and interact with my opinions too. I will let it to go forward, and then I will ask to join, and then you can see how interesting it is.
Liquids into these sprays of charged droplets. Then we'll zoom in on some amazing applications like analyzing proteins and even delivering drugs with incredible precision. And just wait until we get to the part about electrifying tiny, stretchy liquid threads.
Yes.
I click join.
Oh, yeah,
Hello guys, thank you for your interesting podcast. I have a question, how they use electrospray for drug delivery.
Hey, thanks for the question. That's a great one.
Yeah, that's a really important area to explore.
Okay, so let's unpack this. The cool thing about electrospray is that it can create these incredibly tiny droplets.
Right. And because we can control the size and charge of those droplets,
We can use them to encapsulate drugs or other molecules.
exactly. It's like creating a tiny targeted delivery system.
So imagine you have a drug that needs to get inside a cell or a specific part of the body.
Well, by using electrospray, we can enclose that drug within a micro or nanoparticle.
Yeah, and then those particles can travel safely through the body until they reach their target.
It's all about precision, minimizing side effects, and maximizing effectiveness.
And that's just one aspect of it. There's even more to explore.
So to start things off, let's really dig into the mechanics of how the electrospray works, okay?
Here's where it gets really interesting. So the core idea is that we have...
As you've seen, it is really interesting. I asked them a real scientific question about the application of electrospray in drug delivery, and they really simply provide me information about controllable droplet generation, I don't know, guiding, encapsulating the drugs, and so on. So it is really mind-blowing. It is really interesting. I really recommend you to use it and provide your experience in the comments. Let them go forward and ask them another
Liquid that's
question.
flowing through a tiny nozzle.
This creates an electric field that pulls the liquid into a cone shape. That's called the Taylor cone.
Yeah, and that cone is crucial.
I
for the whole
request for
process.
join again.
Exactly. And as
Let's
the
see.
liquid is pulled,
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Guys, I have another question. What is cone jet mode in electrospray? Do you have any idea?
Well, it sounds like you have a really specific question there.
yeah, conjured mode is the typical term we use.
It sounds like maybe you meant cone jet mode.
Yeah, and you want to know how it's defined.
This is actually super important to understanding how electrospray works.
So we were talking about how a high voltage makes a Taylor cone.
And we mentioned how at the tip of the cone, a jet of liquid forms.
Okay, so when that jet becomes stable, that's when we get the cone jet mode.
Yes, it's a steady state where the forces are balanced and the jet is consistent.
Right, it's not just flipping, but a very stable, continuous spray.
What's fascinating here is the cone jet mode is the optimal regimes for electrospray.
Yeah, because it produces these uniform tiny droplets,
And that's crucial for all sorts of applications like drug delivery.
which you asked about earlier.
Exactly. So if we connect this to the bigger picture, the stability of that cone is key.
We can't get to the applications without a stable cone jet, so it's important.
This raises an important question. What happens before that stable jet forms?
Okay, so before the cone jet mode, there's a chaotic, unstable period.
Yeah, the liquid starts to move due to the electrical force.
But it's not yet a nice, stable cone shape or jet.
It's a transition from a droplet at the nozzle to a cone and then a jet.
That transition is complex and depends on a bunch of factors like voltage and flow.
And if you're pushing the system too hard, you can even get pulsing behavior.
Where the cone sort of vibrates, that's the bridging mode when the jet touches the electrode.
Yes, we won't go into that today, but it's definitely a different kind of regime.
So what does this all mean? It means the cone jet mode is like the sweet spot.
Yeah, it's the state we aim for to get predictable results.
And once we understand that, we can start to control it better.
So we've touched
They provided a really, really deep understanding of cone jet mode. It is It's really mind-blowing. It is really mind-blowing. And I don't know, I just download the audio overview. And yes, I've downloaded before. It was mind-blowing and I'm really surprised. I really recommend you to use NotebookLM in your job, in research, and all the things you have. In the next video, I will talk about applications of NotebookLM in writing cover letters, analyzing your CV with a vacancy, with a specific vacancy, and just improving the CV, cover letters, and all together for securing a research position or even a job. Please stay with me. If you had any comments, please put them below. I will glad to hear your comments, your opinions about my video, about NotebookLM, and all questions you have. Please subscribe my channel and ring the bell too. Goodbye.